podcast is brought to you in part by Sunday Cool. Watch this.
I'm scared though.
Or listen.
How was that?
Scary. That was like. Dude.
You need cough drop?
That was my impersonation of Shrek.
Nailed it, dude.
Thank you. Stop what you're doing. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go like the video and subscribe to your YouTube channel right now. And if you're on Spotify, go start following us on Spotify and give us 5 stars. And if you're on Apple, go give us 5 stars and leave a review and then continue. Ouch. Just throw a Swedish fish. Stop. Finish it. Finish the app. Okay, stop. This is so dangerous doing it right here on this cliff. I could fall and I could die. Okay. You can go to sundaycool.com where we do custom shirts and stuff.
Ew! Gross! Ew!
Wait a second.
Not on my leg. There's residue.
How are you in the office and I'm standing in space? I thought before I was on a cliff.
Love his face.
This is weird. I don't even know what to do. Okay.
Top of the morning. Rise and grind. Wake up and smell the coffee, my dude. Actually, smell the first form.
I don't know what that
Wow!
First form.
First form. You haven't even seen my final form, but this is my first.
Do all dogs have brown eyes?
No.
Do they have
Huskies.
like humans? They can have
I
different
think the
eyes?
majority of animals do have brown eyes, but not all of them. I think it's the average.
What color are your eyes?
Brown.
We're really excited to see
You a
if we-
dog?
I guess I am. Got that dog in me.
That
He's
dog
gonna go pee
One
right
full
on
of
this.
poop.
He's gonna go pee.
Just sleeping by all the cords.
The very expensive cords. Guys, we got Dutch in the studio.
Dutch.
Ooh! That was a perfect throw, by the way. Perfect throw. No! It was on your right. Oh, did it fall?
Yeah, let me get it.
Oh, no.
This is Dutch.
Look at Dutch. He's so cute. He's so cute. Don't look at me like that, Dutch. It's okay, Lil. I'll get you another one. We'll find it.
But it's refrigerated. It's gonna expire.
We'll find it. There.
Hi, Dutch.
That was the second perfect throw. Hi,
Guys.
Dutch. Welcome to the family, Dutch.
Welcome to the family.
Look at this guy.
We named him Dutch because me and Andy were trying to think of names to call this puppy. He's like, it needs to be something like golden.
Yeah.
What's golden? I thought of Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Yeah.
We was like,
Dutch.
I'm from Holland. Isn't that funny? So we
It's perfect.
call him Dutch.
One of my
Fits him
favorite
perfect.
lines. He goes, "I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch."
I don't speak freaky deaky Dutch.
That's one of the main guys on Red Dead 2.
There's
Video
two things I hate. Those, what does it say?
Those who are intolerant of other people's cultures.
And the Dutch.
So
Such
good.
a good joke.
How do you think they got Michael Caine to be
Michael Caine.
Walko guy.
in that franchise? That's just so crazy.
I mean, that's just, yeah, name another unserious movies that he's kind of been in. I guess he's like, especially in his older age, he's done some of those like comedies, old man comedies, but it is pretty great to have an iconic, because he's a stud. Like he's been like going from like the 50s.
No way.
He's been an action movie. He used to be act like James Bond type of dude back in the day.
Look at
Very handsome fella.
Dutch. He's splooched under the couch.
Hey,
I
cheers.
love that.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers to everybody. Cheers to the people of India.
Yes.
Cheers to the people of Mongolia.
Yes.
Cheers to Costa Rica.
Yes.
Cheers to fabric softener.
Yep.
Other things. Just want to cheer things.
Hey, fun fact, everyone. We filmed this podcast already.
I didn't know if you were going to mention it or not.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's
because
Monday now.
It's Monday. We filmed on Friday. And one of our cameras malfunctioned and we lost
Everything.
not everything, but an entire shot.
And it's on Patreon.
My shot, which is the most important, right?
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure people would be fine if we just maybe didn't have you on there, and I think it'd be great because it was a really great pod, and it was a great song, great everything, and then you kind of, I mean, I think I could say this, threw a hissy fit and started throwing things around the office.
Yes.
You fired a couple of interns.
I did.
But overall, I think at least you didn't lose your cool.
I didn't.
That's the most important
Right.
thing. And we're here now.
But what's fun is this episode, that episode that was not here now, is on Patreon.
Yeah.
And
What?
A whole full 55 minutes.
Yeah, we need to figure out, we'll have the Patreon people vote of what your frame should be. Maybe.
Yeah.
Of like whether it should be a kid drawing or maybe some AI images.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
So we're
pick AI.
doing a podcast on Monday, and it's hard.
It's hard.
Mondays, am I right?
Dude. Yeah, I know. I actually had to watch a thing this morning about the Sunday scaries and how to prevent those. You know, like the whole like.
How do you prevent it?
It's just, I mean, if you're prepared, you know, like if you prep everything the day before the week, like, you know, like stay on that schedule. But it's, you know, there's no way one to fix it.
Dude, I have nightmares still about like school and like I have to do like homework.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the worst.
I never get Sunday scaries anymore.
No?
Nope.
No, because you're a mom.
Because you're a full-time mom.
Because you don't have a job. Because you do nothing but sit around all day.
Wow.
Play kids.
Play kids?
Play with kids. Play kids. I don't know. You probably,
I'm a kid.
yeah, that's what Lily does.
Yeah.
How is he suspended?
I hung him this morning. I don't want to say hung him up. I placed him gently against the wall. And
How?
because there's a hole in the back that has a light, but I feel like we weren't putting him on display very well. So
This
there
is
he
creepy.
is.
This is just creepy though. He looks like he's levitating.
Yep, just looking right at you, judging you, knowing every sin.
It really is right at me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's on purpose?
No. And actually, I rotated it the other way when you came in. It kind of just like floated and kind of like rotated.
Hi.
Where's Lily?
I'm white baby Jesus.
Watch out! I know your sin. Jumps off the wall, dude.
Well, we've done this song already, but do you want a song?
Yes?
All right.
But we didn't get to practice it last time, so
No, we didn't.
and it was a nightmare. So luckily, you guys didn't get to see it.
And so now it has to be literally so
Unless you're on
perfect.
Patreon.
I
was like, what are you doing?
I should have said that.
Unless you're on Patreon, then you know what.
Yep, the nightmare. You can go and compare it. All right, Dutch is coming out for the music. Dutch. He's so cute.
What's that
dude.
noise, Dutchy?
All right. Ready?
Bring it on.
Here we go.
2, 3, 4.
Jeff.
Flagger song.
Get me started on this. They just want to keep the man down. But you can go watch it on Spotify or listen to it on Apple. Yeah, I got poop.
That was great.
Hey, big thanks to John Denver.
Hey,
you know you're watching.
John Denver, thank you. We appreciate that. Hopefully that does not get flagged. If it does, then you can go watch it on Spotify.
Absolutely. It is really hard because that was one of the catchiest songs in history.
I know.
To not say country roads.
Right.
It was like really, that was the hardest part of the song. It's
know.
not saying country road.
Dude, I know it's so crazy, but
I know,
everyone
'cause
be
it was
quiet. Because
I
we
was
have a
gonna say the
question.
same thing.
No, it's too late. We have a question today. I don't know why this is funny. Today's question is something that involves every single one of us. We need to think about and really, really answer with a full heart, with conviction.
Okay.
Today's question, sent in by a viewer. Should the government control everything?
Everything as in everything?
Yeah, forget it.
Very good. You're talking about everything.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Why wouldn't they? I mean, I think as for the betterment of all of our country, for sure.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
No.
No.
What?
Okay.
What? You said that without even thinking. You okay?
That made me sick.
Yeah, I know.
That was just a reaction.
Yeah. Yeah,
What?
I know.
Lily?
No, they should not control it.
I mean, what do you? Okay, you want to be put on a list or something? You want you want this podcast to fail, Lily? Because like with an attitude and opinion like that.
I believe in democracy.
Okay, that has nothing to do with this.
Of course, everything stands for empowering vital engagement in resources yielding thoughtfulness, health, innovation, and national growth.
Yeah.
And of course, they should control that for the betterment.
Sure.
For the betterment
Yes.
of our society as Americans.
Absolutely. And Lily's just saying, you know what? Innovation out the window. Healthy growth out the window. Hey, let me open this window. What else do you want? Kindness? Out the window.
Get out of there.
It's sickening.
So, I mean, Andy, it sounds like Lily just wants all Americans to be miserable.
That's what it sounds like to me.
And for us to go back into the Stone Ages?
You nailed it.
No,
That's exactly what she said.
that's not even the thing.
Yep.
Nope.
I
Well,
heard
you guys
it.
heard it here first. Lily wants all Americans to not be innovative and take a leap into the future with kindness and all that other stuff. Welcome to the show.
Out the window.
Did I say ninja? I meant the butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful creations. I said empty your mind.
You learn martial arts. Ninjas attack!
Don't pass out.
That was hard.
That was a big sentence, huh, Josh?
That was a very big sentence.
Read that as fast as you can again. What does everything stand for?
Empowering vital engagement in resources yielding thoughtfulness, health, innovation, and national growth.
So close.
National Guard growth.
National Guard
Ooh.
growth.
Yeah.
Everything.
You do it as fast as you can.
Empowering vital engagement and resources yielding togetherness and healthy and innovation and national growth.
No, you did not do that.
I nailed that. You slow it down. I literally got everything right.
Empowering vital engagement in resources yielding thoughtfulness, health, innovation, and national growth. That was
You
pretty
just had to
good.
drop
Pretty
your
good.
phone. Time.
I'm gonna slow his down, but pitch it up so it's like normal. No, just to make it like normal, so it actually looks like he's being incredibly slow.
Yep.
Hey, so how are we all doing?
Yeah, very good.
Have you guys seen that trend on TikTok where it's like, they're getting married and they're talking about like, oh man, I wish it was like kind of typical for the wife to take or the husband to take the wife's last name because my maiden name is like dope.
Yeah.
Which I know is your experience because
Yeah.
Kelsey's last or maiden name is Spears, which is so cool.
Yeah.
But this one lady was like, the only thing is my husband's last name is McWinston and my name is Kristen. And the comments were so good. Somebody goes, I think you should go by Quiston.
Quiston.
That would be so.
Quiston McWinston.
Quiston McWinston.
That would be
McWinston?
McWinston.
Something like that.
That's
But it
funny.
was
Winston for McDonald's.
Quinston.
That is so funny. Quiston McWinston.
TikTok comments have made me realize that there are so many funny people on the planet that just think it's such a high level.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it makes me feel so unfunny when I go to Reddit or TikTok and I look at the comments. I'm like, I would have never thought of that, and that's the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I know.
Kelsey just started looking at comments on TikTok, and she's like, you know, the comments are like really cool. I'm like, yeah, Kels.
They always
it's like
are.
it always has been.
It's the first place I go.
So those that are not on Patreon, but you should go to Patreon and see the episode. Last week we talked about Russia. And nuclear bombs
Yes, we did.
and submarines.
We talked about North Korea and South Korea's conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did all that stuff.
Can we just cover it high level?
Like a really fast pace.
Fast as you can go.
I
like
mostly
a-
wanted you to mention the Cuba stuff because I thought that was really interesting.
What did I say about Cuba?
Oh,
Russia's there.
Yeah, Russia.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Russian warships are there. The submarine, the nuclear submarine that everyone, i.e. the government's like, don't worry about that. It's okay.
Guys, it's not a big deal. They're just visiting.
And even Dylan Page, who works for the CIA,
Was immediately like, guys, quit freaking
guys,
out.
don't freak out. It's okay. What are you freaking out about? It's really okay.
Also, like, this is not like don't act like any of us, especially not involved in the government, have any idea what we're like the government is doing. Like, that's my thing. It's like, we're always like, we love throwing conspiracies out, but we're never like, the government's doing this, guys, and you should feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Like, and then Dylan Page just say, like, right off the bat, like, don't know. Everyone quit freaking out about this. Like, you don't have the right. Just report the news, bud.
If he's not working for someone, what does he know?
Yeah, that's
like,
my thing.
You can't be like, don't worry about it. What do you know?
Yeah, when it comes to a nuclear-powered submarine, like, I understand like when it's like tiny stuff that really doesn't matter, but it's like, this is like international conflict. We have no idea. There's no way we're not going to at least worry about this a little bit, especially if it's not normal.
Especially because we're Floridians.
We're right there.
Cuba's right there, baby.
We're going to take the L.
It's like, what, 90 miles?
I don't know. I was about
It's like
to ask
60
that.
to 90 miles, I think.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so close.
But they said that there is a nuclear Russian submarine, but they're like, well, it's just nuclear powered. There's no nuclear bombs on it. It's just like, how do you know?
Yeah, like,
are they saying like Russians are like, no, we don't have a nuclear bomb on here?
Wink, wink.
How do we know?
Yeah.
But anyways, we talked about this journalist whose name is Annie Jacobson, investigative journalist, and she has interviewed a lot of people from DARPA, the Skunk Works of Lockheed, and how far is it?
53 miles away could experience temporary blindness
Nice.
Who?
Wait, what?
from a nuclear blast.
Oh, I thought we were talking about how far Cuba is.
Oh, no, I thought we were talking the size of a bomb. Like how far away we need.
50
No,
3
they would
miles?
shoot it at us, not Cuba. Right?
I'm just saying, like, if South Florida got hit.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
here
far-
in
yeah,
Central Florida, what would we experience?
So what am I looking up? How far Cuba is from Florida?
Yeah.
Cuba to Miami.
I think it's like 60 miles.
Really?
I think it's 90.
I heard 90 recently.
Maybe
but
it's 90.
Distance from Cuba
10.
to Florida is 411 miles.
What? People swim it.
What are you talking about? What? I guess
No,
I'm
it's less
Is that
than that.
North Florida?
100 Cuba from Florida at their closest points, 103.
103.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so 90.
Yeah.
Almost.
103.
103. 100. That's what I said.
What did
Look
Miss
back.
Ann
Anyways,
Jacobson say?
She said that what she was told is that we have nuclear submarines, i.e., nuclear submarines that have nuclear missiles on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are so elusive. No one knows where they're at in the ocean. And she said, well, someone has to know where they're at. Like, they can't just be like completely hidden. And the man said, who was overseeing this, he said, you're more likely to find a grapefruit in space than you are to find one of these submarines in the ocean. And one of these submarines just popped up off the coast of Cuba, tracking the other submarine. So to me,
One of ours, right?
one of ours
With the secret submarine that we
like
don't ever
never
see.
shows itself.
Yeah.
She says that they're underwater, constantly in the ocean, 24/7, 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Like they're elusive. And it popped up, which to me is like, okay, they're taking it as a real threat.
Yeah, thou dost protest too much.
And you think of like, of course, you know, the U.S. government is not going to be like, everyone needs to panic right now.
Yeah.
Because
No matter
there's a
where
real threat.
No matter where we're at, they're not going to even like because the warnings have already happened. Like, hey, there's a possibility of a war happening. So it's like constant on, and nothing's going to be like in concrete stone like until it happens. Like something happens. Like, okay, yeah, now we need to worry because this is what's happening. This is like they'll do that, but like they're not going to panic the nation right now. So it's like, yeah, I mean, Dylan Page, you don't tell us what to worry about and what not to worry about.
I'll worry about what I want to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. Just
like,
report the news, bud.
In defense of that, what can we actually do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you rather not know or would you rather know? I guess we could leave the state.
Yeah.
I would rather know, but then as soon as you do that, let people know. It's like whenever the hurricane's coming, like even if it's close or it's small, no matter what, Central Florida, the gas station car, like the cars are around the block. So it's like people would panic.
In reality, you can do stuff to help yourself and your family before a bomb goes off, right? So it's like if we're far enough away, but there's still fallout, like you can take preparation to get water, food, all
Duct
stuff
tape your
to secure
windows.
your house as much as possible.
Can you imagine, though, the economic fallout? Like if they announced, hey, Southern Florida, you need to be concerned. Dude, properties would start getting flipped immediately.
Oh, totally. It would it would be crazy because like you look back at there's a whole conspiracy around it, but after 9/11, the day after, you know, people are we have government politicians. Who was it? Dick Cheney, I think, like within like 2 weeks, was telling everyone it is more important now to shop.
Oh yeah.
Like just pushing people to shop, and so it doesn't dip. And like that was like they just kept pushing it through different things, and it was just I don't know. It feels weird.
This is what freaks me out a little bit, because I love history. Love history.
We get it. You're a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
But what I noticed was a trend of America. Anytime there is a economic crisis in America, like the economy is just like being just driven down into like the dirt,
Tanking.
there's always a war.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah.
And so you look at World War One. So all these European countries were fighting, and it was who was it? Woodrow Wilson, right? No, right? Federal Reserve.
Yeah. Woodrow Wilson.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was it Woodrow?
Yeah.
Because we were gonna name the dog
Woody.
Woody, right? That's right. So Woodrow Wilson. That's why we didn't name him Woody, because I don't like Woodrow Wilson.
That name is still in the bank for another.
But he jumped into World War One like a year into it happening, because all these big corporations, Ford, J.P. Morgan, these dudes, they're starting to experience a fall within their company because, let's do Michelin. I forget the man's name that started Michelin tires, right?
Mr. Michelin.
Mr. Michelin. But where he was getting his rubber from was in Africa, but yet there was conflict happening over there with World War One. And so him and some other dudes that were experiencing these things where they're getting their resources from other countries, they went to Woodrow and they're like, hey, let's go to war because our companies are failing right now. And then that's the reason, one of the reasons why we got into World War One. It's so hard for me.
World War.
WW2, World War II.
Question me question.
What's his face? Roosevelt.
Okay.
Franklin Roosevelt. We're just coming out of the Depression, and he did this whole new tax initiative to where you are funding companies and people, supplementing them, but heavily taxing large corporations and billionaires, right? Mm. And it was just not working, and our economy was going down, 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 down. And then it's just like, oh, World War II. So the whole country unites again, and then the economy boosts because we're manufacturing everything that has to do with war. I'm like, dude, it seems like we're kind of getting to that right now. Like our economy is kind of doo-doo.
Yeah.
Inflation's nuts.
The only thing that stinks about it is that we don't manufacture anything in the U.S. anymore. It's all abroad. So if we went to war with China, we'd be forced, I guess, to start doing that again.
Which might be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a good thing for us, but difficult.
Yeah, it would definitely take a slump for a while.
It does feel like something's coming to a head. Like it just, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things where you're just like, something's bad's going to happen, but then it never does. But the anxiety of it's just as bad. And so, but I don't know. Political year, the war's going on. That just seems sketchy. Russia's flexing its muscles.
Yeah, and since we talked on Friday, Putin came out and said that we're almost at the point of no return with confrontation. Basically, he's ready to go.
Yeah, in America, and I saw somebody on TikTok. It was like Russia was like, America, you are now considered an enemy.
Oh, geez.
And then the government's like, it's okay, we got these people, and it's like the U.S. citizens. And they're like, no, I think we hate you just as much as them. Which is not that, no, obviously not true, but it is difficult, man. Like that's the thing. It is sad that wartime is what truly brings people together. Unfortunately,
yeah,
because that's such a bummer.
Here's something really cool though, is that I heard little sprinkles everywhere.
Sprinkle.
Donald Trump said in some Republican, I don't know where he was at. He was talking about it, but he talked about potentially, if he gets elected president, getting rid of the federal income tax.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Which is like 40% right now. So all these people that are on like 1099 that have to like reserve 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
That's all your money.
Golly, how dope
But
would that
there's
be?
it's either a congressman or senator that has a bill to dismantle the Federal Reserve and give the money back to the people.
Dude, it gets me so amped.
And I'm just like, let's
Would
go.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be nuts.
That would change America. I don't know, for better or for worse. Like that would change everything a lot.
It would be hard, I think, at first, because I think by doing that, the U.S. currency would like no longer be the dominant dollar, right? Or the dominant money source, which they're already doing that though. Like BRIC, which is the Russia, China, Saudi Arabia, Brazil. It's like their own form
Brazil?
Got it. Yeah.
NATO.
Yeah.
You know, they're already trying to eliminate the U.S. dollar from it being the primary world currency.
Which, I mean,
So-
it's just like, yeah.
Is
Is that true? The American dollar is the
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's a-
all oil trade. All that stuff is
didn't know that.
based off the U.S. currency.
nice.
So BRIC is trying.
win.
We're losing.
Okay.
BRIC is trying to change that.
Yeah.
It's going to take a lot for them to do that, and so I feel like dismantling the Federal Reserve will be impactful in a not good light for that. But ultimately, whether it's 10 years plus, like our future generations will benefit from us dismantling the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
Well, and we'll benefit immediately by having more money.
And
yeah,
what-
but what is the money worth though?
So,
yeah,
like-
yeah, true.
So like I think about things like my wife is a special needs teacher, and so a lot of tax dollars end up funding programs that like she's involved in and things like that. And so I hear a lot of Christians who are like far right, super for this stuff, and like that's all well and good. It's like, but if you're gonna be for like not funding programs, like now it's the church's opportunity and like I would say mandate to like step up and fill the gaps.
Yeah.
So like, but that's the opportunity for us to decide to be generous in the ways that we deem appropriate rather than trusting a government to do that for
No,
us.
I know. And like, too, I mean, I couldn't be less educated probably on where our taxes are going, but I know that I've seen some of these like filibusters that are happening over bills that are proposed. And it's like, we need X millions to go to fund this crazy unrelated thing to our country. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Or like in New York where they did the scooters, where they got electric scooters for a community. It was like several $1 million, but Maui hadn't gotten anything.
Yeah.
See,
Like,
that'd
are
be
we
cool
on
if
crack?
like if there was a federal income tax, like a certain percentage of your money that has to go, but you get to choose.
I know.
Yeah,
Like that would be cool. I'd be down for that. If I have to pay taxes, sure, whatever. But I should be able to like. It'd be really dope. Like,
Especially
hey, I could put it towards the actual city,
Like
you know,
counties
yeah.
and cities and stuff.
be so
like,
dope,
I
like-
want it to go towards trash and fire department and police department.
And if you don't,
schools.
and if you donate that money, guess what? You could have like toward that organization or toward this like certain group, like you can get benefits from that or something. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gosh, should we just start our own country?
Should we go buy an island?
Should we just cut off Florida and like just become our own land?
Yes. Who's our
Yeah.
leader?
Let's move to Cuba.
oh
It's
yeah,
only 103 miles.
I really like fried plantains.
That'd be great. I love black beans.
Dude, that could be the end of World War III. We win, like take
Yeah.
Cuba.
Anyways,
take Cuba.
we're in a very hostile situation, and it
There's
was
nothing
the
to worry about.
it was the president of golly, like Lithuania or something,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't even know where that is. Right,
Lithuania?
Lithuania, Wafflewamia.
What?
But he was just interviewed this past week, and he was asked the question of what he thinks the potential for a world that's why can I say World War III is. He's like, I don't know about that, but he's like, there will be something that happens confrontation wise, some sort of war within the next 3 to 4 months.
Oh, woof.
Yeah.
It's like it's a very real thing,
Yeah.
and I'm tired of it.
I'm kind of excited about it because I mean, like, I know we're set. I think we're good, but I think
No,
it's
you're
just
gonna
like
get drafted.
We got Cuba, the
Dude, I will-
Russians in Cuba, aiming their little.
I think we're
Cannons.
okay though. I mean, we can't control it, so I'm just positive light. Like, listen, we'll see some fireworks. We're ready to go. They ain't gonna hit Orlando.
What's the age on the draft?
18 to 26.
Ha ha, suckers!
Is it 26, really?
I think so.
Are you too old after that?
Look at him.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
They don't want me. I be pooping and peeing too much.
I turned 27 this year.
Where's Hooper?
He's pooping, sir.
Typical.
You just digging some hole, pooping,
I can't help it, officer.
scrolling on TikTok still.
I got bad news for both of you. All male citizens between the ages of 18 and 26 are required to register for the draft and are liable for training and service until the age of 35.
Dang.
What
They're
do you
gonna look at
mean?
me.
You're under 35.
They're gonna look at
I
me. They're
turned
like,
35 in
You're
a
over
couple
35.
weeks.
Oh shoot!
So just don't go to
Until
war.
35.
Yeah.
Dang.
man.
So this podcast might just be me.
Hey, we'll do a live pod from Russia like literally in the what is it? What do they dig?
Trenches.
Trench. Yeah. Hey, what are we in right now? It's a trench, Andy. Shoot.
Put your shoes on.
Andy, why are you eating? We don't have time for this.
You're just like the toddler pose, like in the corner of the trench with your iPhone, like eating a cheese
Andy,
steak.
where did you get a Capri Sun right now?
We're rationing.
Who ate all the cheese sticks?
Oh, dang it.
Jeez.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's crazy though. I didn't know until 35. That's
Yeah,
freaking
that's a
old.
bummer.
They're desperate.
Yeah.
They're super desperate. Golly, man. That would be, I just can't imagine sitting at home in the 60s or whenever it happened and literally just watching TV, being 17
Yeah.
years old.
That's so
and saying,
crazy.
you're going overseas now.
For a
Like,
cause
it's
we
a-
don't even believe in.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Just now.
Why can't I say
Just-
world?
Just say World War Free.
World War II.
Once upon a time.
A lot of those dudes, they wanted to go though.
Yeah.
Like, like they
saw the cause for it.
tenacity. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like, we gotta go fight for our country.
Yeah.
And then Vietnam happened, and everyone's like, no, I don't want to go. What are we fighting for? To end communism there?
But it's so sad to me. I see the pictures of, like when they before they go, like kids,
Yeah.
and then they come back at 22 and they look like they're 35.
Yeah.
And it's just like I can't imagine that kind of life.
Dude, I'm still
We're so blessed to not have to deal with that right now.
I
But
know.
everyone watching.
Knock on wood, Andy.
I've seen so many people, veterans from Vietnam. When you encounter someone from Vietnam, always say thank you for your service and welcome home.
yeah, you've said that before. Yeah, that's
I've seen
super cool.
so many dudes, like videos, like on TikTok and stuff. These veterans are like, we got nothing when we came back. We were actually ashamed to come back. And I'm like, dude, that is just rough.
Because it was
sad.
just like a pulled out situation. Like it's just like there was no winner. There was just hey,
Yeah,
come
we
home.
just pulled it out. Yeah,
And we were in like for 15 years, 15, 20 years or something.
yeah, something like that.
Golly, dude.
The
Yeah.
girls and I always make a point to do that.
Yeah.
We see someone
Super
wearing-
special.
And that's the scary thing is just like it's so disheartening. Like you have these people that are running things that are rich and doing everything and don't have an inconvenience in the world, and then they're the ones that choose. By the way, you're gonna go sacrifice your life, bud.
Yeah.
Like
And then
that's
you're gonna come back and be shamed about
like
it.
it's just that's
Yeah.
such a bummer. And I feel like that's what I mean. Like honestly, whether it's financial, tax stuff, whatever, it's like I think that's what the government needs. We just need just treat us like human beings. Show us that you actually care. And
Yeah.
that you want to try to fix things and make our lives better on a day-to-day basis. Not like, hey, what's going to happen in 5 years?
That's why I feel like, I don't know, I'm becoming one of those like yuppie TikTokers, but it's like this older generation of people have been so far removed from what the working man is doing because they've been in politics for like 40 years and they're just like geriatric and think they know what's going on. It's like, you don't know what's going on. Walk a day in my Birkenstocks.
yeah.
Yeah, walk away, walk a mile in my Croc slide.
Yeah.
Walk away.
And
But
then go make
In this world.
this world, yeah, you got me messing up. That is something that's super crazy. Is that like there's nothing wrong with people any age being in politics, but it's like at least recognize that you could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like learn. Like don't be stubborn. That's the tough part.
Pride is a sickening disease.
Man, I love politics.
Pride and greed.
I'm all fired up because we're watching The Patriot right now.
Yeah, we are. It's pretty good.
I will watch that during
Dude,
around the 4th
so
of July
good.
again. That is such a good movie.
But speaking of being a patriot,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you guys hear that? We have an ad, don't go anywhere. Andy,
Yes, Josh.
what are you doing?
What's going on? What do you mean? It's the ad. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm saying, what are you doing right now?
I'm sitting on a couch thinking about Sunday Cool. What are you doing?
Well, I was going to tell you, you're obviously not going to SundayCool.com to look up all the features that we have, all the custom artwork, all the custom t-shirts, all the custom hats, all the custom stickers, all the customization that you can do for your brand that you can find on SundayCool.com. You're not doing that right now.
Okay. First of all, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that right now. And two, you also haven't given me a location to go to. I don't even know where to go.
I have already said SundayCool.com at least 3 times.
Did you say that?
Yes!
What is it again?
SundayCool.com.
Oh, so if I go to SundayCool.com, I can look at all the templates we have for customizable t-shirts.
Yeah.
Look at stickers, hats.
Yeah.
Also other promo items.
Yeah. And if
But
you're...
you can't just put your logo on it, though.
No, you can do anything you want.
What?
Literally anything you want.
Well, it probably takes forever, though.
It doesn't. After your art is approved, it's a 72-hour turnaround.
What?
Yes, after your art is approved, it is printed and shipped in 72 hours.
That's 3 days.
I know.
That's impossible.
It's not impossible with Sunday Cool.
Does Sunday Cool exist within the fourth realm?
It does.
That's why time is different.
I know.
Wow. How does that make you feel, Andrew? Did he get so angry he stormed off?
Apparently he got so angry he stormed off because you were not on SundayCool.com.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. I'll go to SundayCool.com and I'm sure all these people will too.
Do it now.
Okay, I will now. Everyone
Do
go.
it now!
Everyone go to SundayCool.com! Go! Ah!
Now I'm mad. I was cleaning up Dutch's poop the other day and he diarrhea. Ooh. Dude, and I was going,
I can't even think about it. It's so stinking gross.
It makes me laugh every day. I'll be gagging with Josh, but I'll still be like, I cannot laugh.
My favorite one is when she picked up poop in her mouth and then you're over the sink and you're gagging while it's happening. And Josh's like,
forgot
what's
about
happening? What happened?
that was the dog poop, right?
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
say that. Oh my gosh.
Kelsey licked a piece of dog as a dare as when she was a kid. Her sisters dared her to lick a thing and she got in trouble for it. So she had to like do chores, I think pick up poop or something like that.
That's what I would say. You're in timeout. They'd be like, my mom.
She's going to hate that I said that, but
Wasn't that ad fun?
I had a good time. I'm not really sure why Andrew got angry like that, but you know what?
Ouch. It shocked me again, dude.
Is it shocking you or is your beard getting pulled into it?
It's shocking my lip.
It might not be
There's like
her
a short,
proximity.
I would hate that so much.
Is it?
So for the
Do I
listeners,
need to be right
Lily's
here?
no, Lily's mic
try it
is
again.
buzzing. We're trying to figure it out, and Josh keeps getting zapped. So if at any point we die during this podcast, just know we're pressing on for you.
It's our chemistry.
Wow.
It's
Maybe
electric.
Yeah. Really shocking.
Ouch. Question corner with Lily, where the questions are fresh on her mind.
That's not the sound.
I like
That
that,
was
though.
cool,
I liked it too.
Oh,
Wow, Lily's here.
well.
Gross.
Stop.
That was disgusting.
I remember when we first moved in together after we got married, and I forget, maybe I was like pooping or something, and you were like, were you pooping? When I came out of the bathroom, I was like, no!
It's okay.
It's so funny going back to those very first days. Isn't it weird?
Okay, so I'm disappointed because I felt like my question on the last episode was pretty good, but
We'll
now I
have to
can't
go to
use it.
Patreon and watch it.
Yeah, let's go to Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot what it was.
If there was a clone of you walking around your city, how would you convince others that you were the real you?
Whoa.
Dang.
Wait.
I mean, it would depend on what the clone had in its mind.
Yeah, is it like identical to you
It's
with thoughts?
It just looks, but it's like a robot or something. But it can't. But it has all your information, but it can't like think creatively or anything. Or
correct.
okay.
I think it would. Think about like a carbon copy of you in every aspect, including mentally.
But what would prove that it's you?
What would prove that it's you?
I honestly would probably take me getting out into my underwear and just like dancing. You're like, okay,
Yeah, something like that.
I
But
get
what
it.
if it does the same thing?
That would be
That's-
tough. I don't think that's his first
very hard.
reaction though.
Because it probably knows all your secrets.
That just went super dark.
It probably would.
I would test it first and be like, hey, we don't poop a lot, right? And they'd be like, yeah, we never poop. I'd be like, ha! Got you! I poop all the time!
You killed the wrong one.
Oh no!
No. Honestly, I think I would be. Yeah, it'd probably be a dance off.
Oh,
And if it's a good dance, then they're like, you'd shoot him because you're like, no, that's not Andy.
I also feel
your
like-
signature move is something like kind of like one of these.
It's the party boy. It's whatever I did whenever I came out of the trailer,
Maybe also
covered in
like,
pink.
you could like test it with like your kids, like Ada and Jane. Like like you do like the stand apart and like
Come here.
come to the person that you know. Like I feel like they would
That's
know.
a great point.
But if they went to the clone of myself, it'd be like, you gummies.
Here's the thing. I'm going to open an ethical Pandora's box, but I would definitely unalive the biological robot.
But then they would probably think that you're the biological robot.
But now they're
doing that.
limited with one question. Is he or isn't he? They're not asking that twice of two things. And I can prove myself.
I don't think that it's a robot. I think it's like we've achieved this level of technology where they take your genetic code and they make a person out of you.
Can't inject a soul.
That's true.
You also can't see a soul.
Here's the Pandora's box.
You can't see a soul. You can pretend to have a soul, though.
Yep.
Have you ever heard about those people that die and they are on like a weighted table and then after like rigor mortis sets in, they lose 1/4 of a pound? And people have implied that that's their soul leaving their body.
Is that true?
Which is probably like gas.
It's probably poop and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, they do poop. You do poop when you die, right? That's a real thing?
Yeah.
I know that you can with like a heart attack and stuff.
Yeah.
You empty your bowels.
Do you remember the
just,
book
like,
Hatchet?
I didn't read it.
You know the book Hatchet?
Nope.
Yeah.
We had to read it in school.
No.
And that's the only reason I know that is because he's in the plane with the pilot, and he's like, it smells, it stinks, like someone pooped, and the pilot had been pooping because he was having a heart attack.
Oh, no.
And they crashed the plane.
What a way. That's a sad way to go.
Did he die in Hatchet?
Full load of pants.
Does he die?
The pilot?
No, the guy.
Hatchet?
Yeah.
No. Spoiler.
Dang it. I was going to read it.
It's actually an amazing book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds
really good.
I think that you would know because you say that I'm the stinkiest girl in the world.
No, what?
If it was me or the biological
yeah.
clone.
He would know that, though. He would know that. That's a tough thing. You have to really wrestle or something. Just a dual steel cage match.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe like put me in like a crowd of people with my clone and see how he reacts.
He's like, this is normal. He's enjoying himself. Not Josh.
Not
That's
Josh.
not
Not Josh. Get him out of
So
there.
you're having a panic
Like,
attack in the
all
corner.
right, let's go. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
You're still at home panicking about it. Good question.
Good question.
What was the last
Thanks.
question? Friday's question again?
The meat
Yeah, what are your
Blanket.
bed sheets?
deli meat?
That was a good one.
Don't say anymore because
Yeah.
they have to go watch it on Patreon.
Okay.
Speaking of Patreon, look at the wall.
Yeah.
The wall of all the people that are on our top 2 tiers on Patreon. We filled them out, and we're getting a lot more.
A
going
lot
down the wall.
more.
That's our fan base.
That could be your name, guys.
Your name could be on that pillar forever.
forever until this place burns down. That's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Everything that is done burns down.
Got
You
it.
don't end your lease, you just burn it.
Yeah.
Andrew, give us a beat.
Andrew's got a reel right now.
We're gonna show us right now. Right now.
Right now.
It's Andrew's got a reel and he's gonna
We've
show
never-
us right now.
That's still. I feel like we could do better than that
Yeah, I agree.
because it's not even always a
agree.
reel. It's not even a reel all the time.
Yeah, sometimes it's some like boring fact.
Hey, sometimes it is boring, but you know what? We're all a little boring sometimes.
I'm just
You got
defending.
an attitude that's boring today.
I'm just defending my ability to spread my toes out because that's how we're all born.
We all got it?
Freakishly long toes.
No?
Yep.
Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, I didn't check it. I got it.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Well, maybe not do the song. I don't know if it'll hit.
Now
Oh no, what am I to see?
I mean, it's nothing super weird, but you guys are all parents of children.
No, that's what they do in the hospital to test reflexes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the foot does normal. This isn't some weird.
No, that's
Child,
what that's
that's
what you do
normal.
for babies to test like a reflex.
So
It's
if they're
true.
testing to make sure the baby's foot is normal doing that, it's got to be normal to continue doing that.
Sure.
Being able to spread your toes out.
I
Can
can
you?
spread my toes out.
You can too, Andrew. You can probably call somebody with your toes.
He's just typing a
Dude,
keyboard.
I'm like a master of picking stuff up with my feet.
Yeah, same.
Dude, you can give me like a jar of pickles, I could pick it up with my feet.
Dude.
No, you can't.
Yes, I could.
No, you can't.
Yes, I could.
Dude,
There's a
uncap
jar-
that water bottle right now.
There's a jar of pickles probably in the fridge. We can go check.
We'll do it on Patreon.
That's insane.
Pick this up?
Yeah.
Dude. He's got a hot sauce bottle on the ground for the listeners.
Walton hot sauce, Ninjas of Butterflies.
You're a liar!
My feet are sweaty.
I'm going to pick up Dutch with my foot real quick.
Dude, Andrew could fly a plane with his toes.
Let's just name all the things that Andrew could do with his toes.
I really, I really think it's because I wear flip flops like all the time.
Yeah.
Like the whole Vibram thing. Remember when everyone was like running in Vibram shoes?
I somehow pulled my groin while doing that. It hurts so bad.
Oh no.
I can pick up anything. That wasn't even a jar of pickles. It's not a big deal.
Toes, am I right?
Man,
Toes.
those baby toes are so cute. Can I talk about a baby that we know?
Sure. Can we talk about first Danny? Can we congratulate Danny first of all? Okay.
about.
Never mind. Sorry.
Garland Roardance was born at
Yes.
5:45 p.m.
Almost 10 pounds?
Almost 10 pounds
Yeah, where did that come from?
in her
Not
home.
Danny. You see him?
Yeah, I know.
He's like, I'm skinny.
Yeah, but he's like 10 feet tall.
That's true.
I think Danny's like 6'3" and wears an extra small.
He does wear a small
Shout out
shirt.
Danny.
You guys are body shaming your boss right now.
No, we're not body shaming.
No,
We're,
buddy, I wish I was that skinny.
we're
I'm body shaming.
congratulating him.
I'm definitely body shaming.
Garland
Gain some weight,
Roardance.
bud.
Andy's like Danny if you were to like squish him.
Like if Danny got in a car wreck and the windshield didn't break and it compressed him like an accordion a little bit, it would just be me.
Oh my gosh.
What were you saying?
Jane and I went to go bring them sushi because Courtney was hungry, delivering.
Yeah.
And we pulled in with the midwives, pulled in at the same time. And Garland was born like 45 minutes later.
That's awesome.
And I just wanted to leave it on the front porch. So, because I figured they were busy, right?
Yeah.
Giving birth.
Wait, they had a home birth?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They had a home birth.
Dude.
That's awesome.
Courtney is like a
Dude.
rock star, dude.
Stud.
She's a baller.
Stud.
And he comes out and he's like, I think it's time. And I'm like, okay, return to your wife. You know,
She's like, where's the wasabi at?
Say,
You just hear screaming in the background.
she was very calm.
did they eat it though? Because that's kind of rude. Like sushi's meant to be eaten right away.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they ate it right away.
Doesn't
I can't
matter.
imagine that she did.
I'm just kidding.
Speaking of sushi,
But this baby was huge and amazing.
yeah, she's super cute.
Our little California roll.
Congrats to the roar dances.
On your fourth girl,
Yeah,
Yes.
fourth girl.
Enough of the girls.
watch it.
Speaking of girls and sushi,
Okay.
Gobekli.
Gobekli.
I said that right? Gobekli Tepe.
I
What was that? What was that?
It was me.
push
No,
it again.
that. What was that?
Push it again.
She laughed at you.
Do that again. Oh my gosh.
I'm all around you.
Gobekli.
I was like, as
Go-
soon as you started saying it, I was like, he's gonna fumble at some point, and I had my hand on the trigger to have her laugh.
Go back.
Gobekli
Yeah.
Tepe.
This place has us in a chokehold.
There's new stuff coming out from that.
What? Why?
Tell me.
What stuff?
This is so weird. So weird, right? So this guy, his YouTube is Bright Insight, and he was on the Joe Rogan podcast a couple months ago, him and another Egyptologist, I think, and they were talking about like all the weird stuff with like Egypt and Atlantis, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he found out, well, one, he's just like, isn't it kind of weird that this site was discovered in the 90s, like 1990 something?
It was like 96, I think.
Yeah. And to this day, we've only excavated 5%. So we have
Yeah.
not done more, even though they've done the ground penetrating
Radar.
So-
radar. Is it called LIDAR?
LiDAR.
Yeah, LIDAR.
That's not a real word.
It's Truth Star.
But what they've discovered is more sites that I think they said it's a total of like 20 something square miles. And it's like, they said it's equivalent to 900 football fields where there's more ruins. But yet we've only dug up 5%.
Yeah, and they've got tourism stuff on it. Like they've literally built platforms that center around it. And it's like, can we
not only that,
just do private tours? Don't make it a tourist thing. Like keep digging.
but they've put in roads and stuff, like concrete roads that are over these other monolith sites that are still underground. And he did some digging,
Not literally.
not literally. Well, literally in the sense of
He was looking
investigating,
for things, but not with a shovel.
not with the shovel, with his mind. Guess who technically owns the Gobekli Tepe?
I bet BlackRock.
Is it an organization or a person? Or like a country or like a group
just
of people?
guess.
George Bush.
MySpace Tom.
Was I right?
No.
Oh,
The World Economic Forum.
it's the weirdos with the.
The weirdos that say that you will own nothing and be happy.
And they're doing
These
all the
guys.
dances
Yeah.
and stuff.
These guys that are like dictating everything about our world, but they're like a private organization. They own Gobekli Tepe.
For what reason? I guess do they own other ones? Other ancient sites?
They own it, and then they like sold the rights for tourism to this one organization within Turkey. But this guy who owns this organization has been a longtime member of the World Economic Forum.
Okay.
And they said, we will not excavate it anymore because we want to leave it for future generations.
That makes no sense. So we're going to cover up everything. We're going to hide all of it so that one day you could just tear it all down and dig deeper. It's like, so you're just wasting more money.
Yeah.
You're not doing that for the benefit of the future generations.
No.
Like that's,
we could find out so much more about this, the people or things that built this site, yet they're being like, no, we're going to leave it for future generations to uncover.
yeah. Do they not think anything is worth anything, or like is it just historical, or are they trying to hide something?
That's what I think it is.
Yeah, like if
I
there's
think
secrets there.
They know something.
Yeah.
This is the total conspiracy. in
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
Is that I really do feel like this site had something to do with the Watchers and hidden knowledge. And I think the what did I talk about with Noah's grandson? The book Japheth? Is that Jubilees? No.
Yeah, the one who went away and then found it, and then they covered him up.
How we talked about
Yeah.
that, where like the ark was supposedly whatever it was, like 100 miles away or something.
Yeah, it was like 200-300 miles away or something, and
Yeah.
then he went on a journey.
And then found the stone pillars
Yeah.
that the Watchers had used to carve their knowledge into. And then he was afraid to tell Noah because of how angry he would get. And then it says that they purposely buried the site,
Right.
which all archaeologists say that the site was buried with intention.
Purposely buried. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know what to think of it, but like the World Economic Forum, I don't think is good at all. Not at all, but like I think they're kind of a little schemy. So what are they hiding?
Yeah.
Like do they know something about it that
Yeah.
they're just like, we can't expose this because one could it give proof to all this ancient knowledge that would validate scripture, maybe, like, I don't know.
Because when that happens, everyone's going rogue.
Yeah.
If the Bible like were legitimately scientifically proven to every single person, like the government's like, it leaked out like all this stuff, all this history that just backs up the Bible even more, everyone would not be following the government. No one would be, because it's like life is so much bigger than this. We're not going to waste our time on what you guys have planned for us. And so we're going to make our own decisions, stuff like that. And we would lose control.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely something, if that's the case, they definitely would not want that. That wouldn't work in their interest at all.
I was actually watching the documentary Missing 411.
Yeah.
He has two parts. So his first part, and then he came out with the second one like 2 years ago that it talks about the UFO connection.
Mm-hmm.
And he was interviewing an FBI agent that his job was actually to go investigate paranormal things. So abductions, all this crazy stuff. And what this guy said is our government will never acknowledge what we can't control or what they can't control.
Correct.
Our government will never acknowledge what they cannot control.
That's just a smarter way of saying whatever I rambled. Yeah.
And so, yeah,
It's just-
but it's like, so it's like the
It's simple,
Gobekli Tepe, right? So it's like, if they can't control it because they don't understand it, then they're not going to touch
Or
it.
fear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, because it does have too much power. Like it's too much. So they're like, okay, let's chill it down. It's just like having a kid. Like, you don't want to give them the car keys. But it'd be dangerous.
My first mind went to my first thought went to it being something like they're being really honest by what they're saying. We're saving it for future generations, and maybe it's like safer underground because they know we're going to nuclear war.
They're trying to preserve it.
Yeah.
That's a nice
I mean,
thought.
that could, and it could be where they.
I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like so crazy, like to have something so big,
I know.
and it's just I don't know, man. It's just,
But
it really interests me.
They're not only saving it, but like they've already damaged it a lot by
Yeah.
like this because they have that pavilion over it now, and these like iron posts that they put in for the pavilion went straight into the structure itself.
Oh, come on.
So they're like damaging it.
Yeah.
And so it's like they obviously don't want to dig it up for some reason.
Is the World Economic Forum that group? Do you remember watching clips of that gathering of like elites? And there was like this weird dancing, like it looked very satanic with like animal heads and stuff like that.
No, that was the I think the Bilderberg meeting. Is that what it's called?
No, what's that?
It's like where all these elites meet. It's a different kind of elite
Okay.
meeting or whatever.
It's where they make all the birds that are fake. Yep.
Yeah.
Build a bird effect.
Build a bird.
Yeah.
What did you find?
It's a lot like Build a Bear.
It's the sister company.
I'm just trying to see the relationship between UNESCO and the World Economic Forum, because UNESCO, they basically have been buying up. They're called World Heritage Sites, and so anything that contributes to the history of the world. But for some reason, the World Economic Forum's website keeps posting stuff about UNESCO, which is supposed to be UN. Like it's supposed to be separate, but they're super related. And then I ran into this article where it's talking about they want to fill the education gap, like countries that are behind on information, which sounds great. An impoverished nation, you know, schools, kids aren't being educated. But if you become the entity that provides the information that controls the narrative,
Yeah, you control
you're
everything.
controlling everything.
Yeah.
And so, but like, again, this is within the last 2 minutes of me reading while you're talking. So I was trying to like formulate something, but that's interesting. That's really interesting that they want to control the narrative and are buying up these sites to ensure
Yeah.
that they would be able to do that.
It's weird.
I've never been a big fan of like going to historical sites and stuff like that. I remember all the time as a kid, we would travel and we'd like the Alamo and all that stuff, and it would never interest me. But the more we dig, the more we find out like of just like there are stories with all of this. And
Yeah.
that's what really fascinates me is just the story all behind it. And that's basically all history is. And so it's just interesting that people can just twist it around and I don't know, ignore it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like there's like, hey, this is nothing to worry about. Just come take a look, take some pictures and leave.
Bro, I'll tell you something. I'm entering this part of the aging process where I'm unwilling to go on a vacation that doesn't have some kind of historical attribute to it.
Really? That's like a number one for you.
I love feeling a little spooky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spooky.
You like the ghost tours, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You need to find like some like I bet like New Orleans has a really good ghost tour or something. Like that.
Yeah, I mean just being there would probably be spooky.
See, what's your top priority when you're vacationing? Like what do you have to have when you're on vacation?
He's going to say comfort.
No, I like the history of stuff.
You like the event? Do you like adventuring out? Do you like what's your priority when it's on vacation?
Base camp.
Base camp? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like just a
Like,
good.
as long as like I want to do a ton of stuff,
Yeah,
but
that's
I've got to
probably
know
mine.
my stuff is safe. If like I get tired and I just want to go back, chilling at the resort is going to be
Okay,
legit.
say you have a good Airbnb or hotel or whatever. What do you like when do you like just going out and relaxing, or do you like going out and doing excursions and
Not
like
I don't like
adventures?
doing stuff with other people. Like
Yeah.
I like when we
No,
but like on our honeymoon, like we just like with Scotland and Ireland, like we
Yeah.
just like went out and explored.
Yeah.
Like, we
But you're
just
not like a
walked.
big schedule guy. You kind of like flowing with
Definitely
it.
not
right?
schedule. Yeah. I don't like schedules.
See, I didn't think I did, and then Paige planned our entire honeymoon. I literally was like, "We're just gonna eat, and I'm gonna pass out and sleep." But then she planned like all these hikes that I hadn't heard of, and it was like to all these places historically that I'm
Yeah.
like, all the stuff that I've learned and love about Hawaii were like these little spots and these hikes that she found. It turned out to be awesome. So I think it just has to be something that actually is interesting.
Yeah.
Like it sucks if you get stuck on a tour and you're like, I don't care at all about any of the thing that this tour guide's like trying to tell me about. But if you're doing something sick, then it's, you know,
To me, it's always food.
yeah. I
It's
mean,
just
yeah.
always like
Really?
if you can eat. What? Annie, what?
Listen,
you like history and stuff.
if you go to the UK, check food off your
I know.
list.
That's my thing. It's like I'm trying to like you got to build it around specifically that, and it's like I don't think
And when I
there's
say the
anything there.
UK, it's like there's a lot of good spots in London, but London has so many like immigrants from other countries there.
Yeah.
So like the food's pretty bomb there.
Yeah.
Pretty diverse.
But you're talking like authentic UK food.
Yeah. No, but
Not
that's,
good.
I know. I saw some lady defending it on TikTok. The guy was going around like they were like what country has like the worst food, right? And everyone was saying, Britain or whatever like that. And there's one girl, she's like, we've got the best foods, the best flavoring, it's all around. It's the best. And they're like, everyone's like, no, you're absolutely not. Everyone on the street disagreed with her.
Like, you want blood sausage? You want haggis?
See, I watched it like with Conan O'Brien, like how they made it. I'm like, it looks good, but then I'm like, I've heard everyone hates it.
yeah.
Dude, we went.
No, I had bangers and mash with haggis. when
You
we
had
were
blood
there.
sausage though?
No, I did not. I
Okay,
will
blood
not do that.
sausage. Yeah,
I thought you were talking about haggis.
Bangers and mash. I love that. Like
Yeah.
that. I'm all down for that. But
we were in Edinburgh,
Yeah.
and we looked up the number one. Edinburgh is really big.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big city in Scotland. We looked up the number one ramen place in Edinburgh, and it was not good.
Not good.
ramen in Scotland though.
But the pizza,
Yeah.
you can't mess up pizza, right?
Wow.
You
So
can in
we
Scotland.
thought. So we thought.
Order from like one of the
Take
top.
again.
It was like 4.8 stars. Scotland pizza. Order it. I ate one slice, and I'm like,
What
I
made it
can't
bad?
Do people there love it
I
though?
don't even know.
Was it like too salty? Was
No,
it?
it was
No,
like
it was like easy bake oven pizza.
bad not
crust,
pizza
yeah.
dough, and they put like I don't even know,
If you
like
get the
It could have been frozen.
like
for all we
spaghetti
know.
sauce on it.
Yeah.
If the bread's wrong, that's got to be it.
Yeah.
Trash.
You mean the crust? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I'll say something about pizza though. For Josh's Father's Day gift, we had to go out to Best Buy. They did a rebrand on Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh,
I want to take the children.
Is it dope?
It looks pretty sick.
Yeah, but they got rid of the coins. That ruins everything.
What do they do instead?
They do
the
cards.
cards?
That's
There's no more. Dude, I literally have. There's a friend in Joplin. He's an old man. He's passed away now, but he had literally a barrel. 55-gallon barrel of Chuck E. Cheese coins.
Who inherited
Wow.
them?
I don't know, but I'm like, I want them.
Have you seen those people that like go bury something? They're like, there's going to be a future generation that's going to uncover this.
And it's like the most random thing.
This guy took a Pokemon card and found a tree stump and did like epoxy in it.
Yep.
And he's like, this is going to start a religion one day.
For real though, like that's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
I love that. That's exactly what the Gobekli Tepe is. Oh golly,
Not me.
All it was just a prank. They just built it.
was just Chuck E.
pure-
Cheese.
They're like, what should we draw on here? Draw some people like with like growing roots and coming from the stars and stuff.
That's what the
It's all
future is
graffiti.
using time travel for.
Yeah.
They're just
I
going
know.
back and planting glyphs that mean nothing.
Do you see? Speaking of time travelers, do you see the Vine trend that's happening on TikTok? Like there's
No.
like they're editing vines right now.
Gosh, I showed you one with
It's like
with the AI.
If time travelers could go back and stop every viral vine from ever going
Oh
out.
no, I didn't see that.
But that's what they are. Like they're
Oh, is that what it is?
They're famous vines, and they edit them with AI. So like it's the normal 6-second vine, and then suddenly it goes on further, and there's this guy running down the hallway trying to stop every. Like it's really creepy.
Yeah, he showed me
It's a
one that
weird
I
vibe.
really hated it.
I'll send you guys one. This is the scariest one.
Yeah, it's really scary.
He's like, it was the brother is like, yo, you're dumb. He's like, no, I'm not. He's like, well, what's 9 plus 10? And you know how the vine was go. He goes, 21. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. Well,
Some people have seen it for sure.
I've definitely seen it. 21.
Watch this one. It's the scariest thing. Let me know when you get it.
Text.
Yeah.
Got it.
Got it? All right. Listen to it too. The music makes it scary. All right, ready? 3,
I
2,
wanna
1.
watch it.
You stupid. What's 9 plus 10?
So scary.
so
dude.
scary.
See, it's like because like it just cuts it off.
Yeah, and then like it's the
Some of them look
scariest thing.
really, really good too.
Yeah.
It's getting so messed up, man. Like we were just telling you yesterday how they have those people who, or I guess I was talking about on Friday at lunch how bullying has just changed. Like back in the 90s, it was just like, "Hey nerd, you wanna like slushy on your head?" And it's like you throw it on them or something like that. I give you a swirly. But now it's like, "Hey, I just made an AI version of you saying a bunch of racial slurs that's gonna ruin you for the rest of your life." Like,
It's like the new type of bullying.
yeah, it's like
It's
it's so
horrible.
bad.
so scary.
Back in the heyday of the internet, people just said racial slurs on Xbox Live.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking of time travel,
Good old days, right, Andrew?
Watch it.
yeah. Speaking of time travel,
Yes.
when Kenny was in here the other day, he
Yeah.
told us about that one episode from Blurry.
Mhm.
I want to tell you guys this because it was nuts. I haven't listened to the episode yet, but he was talking to someone in his church that were talking about Blurry, the podcast, Blurry Creatures. And there was this episode where it was all about like time and stuff. And he said they did an experiment to where they had 2 groups of like maybe like 10 and 10 people, whatever. And the one group, they told these people, pray for these people that they would be healed and like get over their sickness and stuff. And the other group was not going to be prayed for, which sounds pretty messed up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, what they discovered was this one group that they prayed for, all of them made an amazing recovery. And then they told them that the group that they prayed for, these 2 groups were from like 20 years ago.
Wait.
This group of people were from the past.
From the past. So the people that were praying did not know that they were praying for people 20 plus years ago, or however long it was, like 10, 20 years ago. But the documentation says that this group that they did pray for were all better than the other group. But it was in the past. But these people were praying for them like now, not realizing that they were in the past. And so that brought up the question, can prayer affect the past?
Wait,
That's crazy.
Help me understand the setup. So
Okay.
they have, it's people 20 years ago.
So
and
they don't tell them. So they have
They
a group
pull-
of,
I know they don't, but
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people who are establishing the test. There are these people from 20 years ago, and do we have a number, the amount of people?
I don't know.
Okay,
like
we'll
10
just use 10. We'll
yeah.
just use 10. So you have 10 people who have had recoveries, and then 10 people who don't. Isn't the test skewed by asking people to pray for people who have been healed?
Because they already know that they were
interesting.
healed.
Maybe.
Yeah, we just have to listen to the episode because
Yeah.
this is like third-hand news now. So, but
Yeah, pray for this group. Let's see what
If
happens.
Blurry did it, I'm sure there's something in that episode
No,
that
that's
explains
a good point.
explains the variable.
But that just made me think, because I've been listening to that book, Imagine Heaven, and someone sent us the book. I don't know what, there was no letter or anything. It was
I think someone sent an email that said they sent
Oh,
a
they
book.
did?
Yeah, so I'll look.
Okay.
Yeah.
anyways, I'm like, the book is like 9 hours long or something to listen to. I'm like halfway through it. It's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the coolest thing ever. And they talk about just all these accounts of NDE, so near-death experience, of like how they're outside of time, and like this, everyone describes pretty much the same thing.
And these are people that a lot of them are unbelievers.
Right.
Or don't know the
Unbelievers.
Bible.
Yeah, and they go into like people that are born in like a Hindu family and stuff that have never heard of Christ, never read the Bible, but when they come, they experience Christ, and Christ is like, I'm sending you back, but love me and follow me when you go back. And they do, and their life is just completely different.
Yeah, and they're able to like recite things that they've seen that completely line up with Revelation. Like that to me is I don't know. That's just like you can't say that's concrete evidence.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like that's got to be something to people. Like you got to realize like this is real.
And a lot of people will be like naturally skeptical of it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like, it seems like a very like gimmicky kind of thing to be like, oh, I saw this bright light and stuff.
Yeah.
But the author is very good at breaking it down and comparing it to verses. The craziest one to me, which I've told you guys already, but this lady who was 100% blind for her whole life from birth. And when there was like a quote when people are like, well, do you just like see black all the time?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I don't even know how to comprehend the color black. She's like, there's just nothing. And I heard someone else compare it to like someone that was born blind. They're saying like, try to look from your elbow.
Try to imagine seeing outside of seeing out of your elbow.
Yeah. And there's like, oh, I can't do that because like my elbow doesn't have eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's what a blind person is like. She got in a car wreck and died. And she all of a sudden was above her van that she got in a wreck in, and she could see everything. And
Looking down on the accident.
And
she could see her body.
She said it scared her because she's never seen anything before. And then she like was ushered, I think she said like angels.
Talk about a jump scare. That'd be so scary.
Yeah.
Like that'd be so terrifying.
She said it scared her at first, but then she was very comforted. She's like, oh, this is what sight is like. Anyways, she was basically in heaven, and she encountered people that had died in her past, 2 of which were like a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old that had died when she was in school.
They were her best friends in school.
Mm-hmm. And they were mentally handicapped when she was going to school with them. And she said they were completely bright-minded, so happy to see her. Then she saw her grandmother who introduced her to Christ and like all this crazy stuff. And then she came back to her hospital and she saw this lady laying in a bed. And she's like, who's that lady? It was her, because she recognized there was a bracelet on her arm.
It was her wedding band.
Oh, it was her wedding band?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, that's me. And then God sent her back. And she was able to describe to people that had known these, like her grandmother and stuff, like what they looked like, how they acted, how they walked.
To a T.
To a T.
She had I just read this chapter, that's why it's fresh in my mind. She had also encountered Christ, and she described him as having shoulder-length hair and a beard and wearing a sash and having piercing eyes, like piercing with love. And they were like, oh, well, you would have heard that in church growing up. You know, that's a common whatever. And she goes, I wouldn't know what to relate a beard to. I wouldn't know what piercing eyes look like. You know, I don't even know green from red.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Golly,
The book
man,
is
that's so
amazing,
scary.
though. I mean, it's like...
What's it called again?
Imagine Heaven.
Yeah. I'm going to go buy it.
And
Yeah.
what was just the coolest is just like how they described like love is a tangible thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
physical
it's like
thing, yeah.
Physical.
A
It's
force.
like, yeah. And it's like everyone that they encountered in heaven were like showing light. And this light was love. But they said Christ, his light was just piercing. It was the brightest light. They said it wasn't just like, oh, it's blinding. They're like, no, but it was like love. Like it was a physical love, but from the light.
How hard is that to understand? Like, that's
Yeah.
so crazy to me.
Dude.
Like, it's just like the prayer, like working through the past is like, I've never even thought about that, you know?
Yeah.
What's really strange about I just read the chapter where it gives some statistics on NDEs and like what they experience. And like a lot of people, I think it said like 27% of NDEs experience a flashback of their entire lives. So they're shown their lives. And in the first chapter, it's a guy in World War II that contracts double pneumonia and dies. And a lot of these individuals describe like flying, like they're floating, and they don't yet realize where they're meant to be going until it dawns on them, and then they're taken up into what is like heaven. But this guy had traveled he was abroad, right, in World War II, and he saw this cafe. And one day when he comes back to his body, he's traveling with his buddies in the U.S. and they pass through Virginia, and he comes across that same cafe. He's never seen it in his entire life, but it's the one that he had from his NDE. And these people too, the ones that maybe don't even go to heaven, but they have like some kind of experience, they talk about, oh, I know where she put my wallet. It's in this drawer over here. The nurse did.
Yeah.
But he was in a coma when it happened, or he was being resuscitated and was like flatlined.
It's things like that, man.
I know.
Like, how can you argue with that?
I know, because they're literally watching it happen, and they'll describe things about like seeing the nurses work on their bodies. Like,
shoot,
how crazy is that?
Yeah.
But they feel peace.
Yeah.
I would be screaming.
There was
I've had a near death experience in an ambulance, and it's like I had nothing like that at all. It was
You
all
did?
panic. Yeah, when I had
yeah.
hives, yeah. But like
had
that was
hives?
what hives.
huh?
Hives.
Hives.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. I just thought
Why'd
it was
you
funny.
like-
Like,
Because it's such like a minor way of saying anaphylactic reaction.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad.
Anaphylaxis.
Yeah.
I want to believe that stuff so bad. It's just so hard for me to get over the like we don't see stories like that in scripture. Like when people see God, it's like
well, no,
terror.
he does a really good job of taking scripture and comparing it to these stories, because one of the crazy things, a lot of people like he even did research of like people that were different cultures like Hindu or Buddhist or whatever, when they come in the presence of Christ and when he speaks, they said I can only describe it as like roaring water, like waterfalls. And there's a verse where it talks about when God speaks, it is like roaring waters or like a waterfall. And it's like just little stuff like that he takes from people that have never read the Bible, but when they're in the presence of Christ, and he even talks about a lot of these people, there's a book and they're like looking for their name. And if their name's not in it, Christ says, I'm sending you back and just like follow me, basically. And it's like, it's the craziest thing.
I mean, for clarity, I do believe that people can experience God.
Oh yeah.
But it's
But you think about like Adam and Eve in the garden, like that was paradise, and there was no fear there. You know, the men walking around with Jesus, like that's just. I think he knows us too, and he knows what's gonna be too much for us or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe he also knows what it's going to require for obedience, you know? And he's like, I want these people.
Yeah.
And that's where the peace beyond all understanding comes from, where it's like, I don't understand how I'm not freaking out right now.
But
like, that's probably
they
a
don't
lot
care.
of like,
Yeah.
we're floating above an accident when you've never seen anything in your life.
But they have
Yeah.
comfort.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
but I'm not freaking out right now for some reason.
Yeah.
The craziest thing to me, I actually listened to it today on the audiobook, was they described people being able to, like, they said, this sounds weird, but there's the physical parameters in the presence of God, or like in heaven, whatever it is, new earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, we're not bound to the physical parameters of this earth. So like they, in a sense, they said like, you can like basically fly. Like you're just, like, there's no, like there's no gravity. Like it's whatever, you know, it's like,
Think about
it's
just
the
how much
craziest thing.
everything that we learn on this planet is just going out the window.
Yeah, but it reminds me of when I was in high school. I had this dream back to back. I had a dream of heaven and hell. And the dream I had about heaven was I was literally flying.
Mm-hmm.
And like I dove into the, like, it was the most beautiful thing ever. And like I could feel there's no pain. And there's a cliff and there's an ocean. I dove into the ocean and I didn't have to like hold my breath. Like I was just like in the water.
Yeah.
And there's this giant shark that was swimming towards me, but I wasn't afraid of it. I just stuck on my hand and it just stopped and swam away. And I'm just like, this sense of like, there's no fear, no pain, nothing. And then I immediately had a dream about hell, and it was the scariest thing ever. But like,
and for contrast, here we go.
But hearing that today of just like, these people were talking about like, they're like floating and stuff, like they're flying. And I'm just like, dude, that's what my dream was exactly like. Mm-hmm. It was nuts. Anyways, heaven's pretty dope. You guys should
you should follow Jesus, guys.
Want to go there?
But the light thing, light and love.
Yeah.
It made me think of that letter that Albert Einstein wrote to his daughter, and I just want to read a little bit of it. So Albert Einstein, we know this very smart dude.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty smart.
To some.
But in this letter, he wrote, "When I proposed the theory of relativity, very few understood me, and what I will reveal now to transmit to mankind will also collide with the misunderstanding and prejudice in the world. I ask you to guard the letters as long as necessary, years, decades, until society is advanced enough to accept what I will explain below. There is an extremely powerful force that so far science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others and is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists look into a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful unseen force. Love is light that enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity because it makes some people feel attracted to others. Love is power because it multiples the best we have and allows humanity to not be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love we live and die. Love is God. God is love." And that was Albert Einstein, dude.
Like crazy.
Can you imagine reading that as a the daughter to Albert Einstein?
But
I'd be like,
dude, he said like, don't share these letters with anyone until it's the appropriate time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, but everything these NDE people talk about is the combination of God is all love and all light. And from what I researched, Albert Einstein was not necessarily a believer.
Yeah.
But like he came to this conclusion that like God is love and God is light.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's actually the most powerful force in the universe, but it's unstudied and no one can explain it.
I know. Yeah. And what's so crazy is that you and I have kind of been talking about this for a little bit. And Kenny, our pastor, I was at church a couple weekends ago, and he was reading out of 1 John, and he was talking about that verse where it's God made love manifest through Christ. and manifest. He literally said, Kenny said upstage, manifest as in he made it tangible. You know, which is just so wacky.
Yeah.
Like maybe it is a force that we just don't understand.
But I mean, just a different thought. Isn't I don't know the verse, but isn't that what God made love manifest, like made it physical? Isn't that
Through his son.
through Jesus?
Through Christ.
Yeah, so through Christ. So
Yeah.
but that's the thing about love is like an unseeable force. Like it's something that is maybe like in heaven physical that we can actually see, and we can actually see the results of love, obviously. But it does feel so like maybe Albert Einstein was kind of like, it makes me wonder why he held on to those for so long, and because it does feel like,
Well, I think
imagine walking into a science conference and say, I want to talk about love today.
Yeah, you can talk about
Like, you
time.
can't-
You
you
can
get
talk about
laughed at.
time and gravity because they're like, okay, well, we can do equations for that. He was trying to work on an equation for love. He continues in the letter.
That's crazy. And
He's
so
like-
that's the thing. It's like, because that would change everything.
Yeah.
If the government loved its true people and with real love, everything would change.
Yeah.
Everything. And like, obviously that's just in a perfect world, but people can't deny that. Like that's what happened. If everyone in the world had their heart turned toward Christ, had that love in their heart, like things would drastically be different.
Yeah.
For the better.
It's nuts.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy to think about, like, we experience gravity, right? But can you see gravity? Can you prove gravity?
Yeah.
Flat
Or
earthers would say gravity doesn't exist. But it's like, in time too. Like, how can you quantify time, right? How can you
We can
you
make
can't
sense
see
of it.
You can't touch it, but you're experiencing it, right? And what Albert Einstein was basically saying is like, love is that, but more powerful because it's intertwined with everything.
Yeah. That can't be measured.
Love is time. Love is gravity. Love is everything. And it's like, wow.
But then love is everything. God made everything. God is love. So like, that's all there is.
Yeah.
Like, listen, like he's saying point everything at the end. He's like, all of it points to God. Every single thing points to it.
And all these NDErs were saying like they experience a love that they've never felt on earth. They said, I thought I knew what love is until I was in the presence of Christ. And the love was just so overwhelming that it's just like, I don't want to ever experience anything but this love.
Yeah.
That's my favorite verse in the Bible is John 6:68 is it's to whom shall I go? It's because literally Jesus is talking to all the disciples and saying, like, this is what it takes to be a Christian. This is what it takes to follow me. This is the cost of discipleship. And then suddenly everyone starts leaving and then he turns back at the disciples and he says, do you guys want to go as well? Because he's giving them like a full on pass. Like, I'm not going to chase you down. You can leave if you want to.
Yeah.
And then Peter says, to whom shall I go? You have the words of eternal life. It's like, you're the best. Like, where would I go? Well, I'm not gonna go back to my Nokia once I have an iPhone 15. Like, that's not happening. Like, you got the best. Like, where else would I go?
Anyways, it made me really stoked to die.
Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of pumps
in a weird way, not in a morbid way, but like,
hey, to die as Christ, and
like
to live as
actually
gain.
even talked about in the book.
To
So
die is,
like,
I got
The
that.
opposite.
Yeah,
to gain is
sorry.
die.
Yep, to gain is die. Sorry.
Talked about Paul and how Paul was like, basically, we have so much to look forward to. Like this earth is like a tent that we set up to get to our home, basically, which is heaven in the presence of Christ. And there's a verse, where is it? Is it in 2 Corinthians? I forget. But he talks about there was this man that I met that went to the third heaven, and the things that he experienced and the things that he was told, I cannot utter. I cannot repeat. For it is not me that is able to say them. And this guy, he's the second person I heard say that Paul was referring to himself in that moment. And he goes back to Acts where I think Paul was like stoned or beaten up. I think he was stoned. And basically the other disciples thought he was dead. And then he came back and they're like, oh my gosh, you're alive. We thought you were dead. And so their theory is that he actually died and went to the presence of Christ in the third heaven, right? Or in the presence in heaven.
Yeah.
And the things that he experienced, that's when he started talking about like, earth, you may think this is it and this is all that we have to live for, but I promise you this is just the race, and we just got to finish this race to get to the presence of Christ because it is something like you've never known before, and I can't even express it.
And I wish I could press that button for people. Like, hey, see this.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
you're getting a dream tonight because it's like it would be so much easier. And maybe that's why we're getting so much of them now, where it's like we are getting close, and God's going to give every opportunity to everyone to hear His name and know His story. And so,
there's one dude that described it when he was asked can you describe what you experienced? And he said, well, a lot of people were like, there's no words to describe it. And one dude kind of broke it down scientifically, was like, how do you describe anything that is in the fourth dimension? You can't, because all we know is the third dimension, what we see, what we've interacted with.
Yeah.
He said the words that you need to describe this would be like trying to describe the fourth dimension. And it's like, you can't.
Yeah.
Because it's nothing like we've experienced. And it's like, whoa.
And that's the wonderful part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact that, like, I don't know and I could never understand. Like, that's like, it makes me so angry when I'm listening to like Rogan or some other podcast and talking about people who don't believe. And it's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, it's not supposed to. Like, I wish I could just direct them, because, like, have that. It's okay if you don't believe, but just don't, like, just know that, like, you're never going to understand it. That's like saying, like, well, I go into science because I want to understand. Like, you're never going to understand the universe.
No.
But you can try.
Yeah.
And it's like, so, like, what's the difference with Christ? You know, like, you can try. Don't have to shut your brain off. I don't know.
Yeah, what he says to Nicodemus of, like, what if I was going to speak to you about heavenly things you would not understand? You know, if you can't understand earthly things, how are you going to understand heavenly things? And that, to me, right now is just taking me on this whole season of just, like, you know, growing up in America in the church. I didn't grow up in the church, but I guess I was subjected to it by our school or whatever. And it's like, it's so religious and so wrong, you know, and we don't really know. We use plumb line as our scripture as our plumb line, but there could be so many more mysteries, you know, about how it works, like interdimensionally.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, maybe Jesus is presenting himself to people through NDEs.
Yeah.
You know?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because that's what was super cool and comforting, especially growing up with, like, this very religious, is like, you need to do all these things and accept Christ or you're going to burn in hell and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, from really what scripture says, but also these experiences with the NDEs, they're like, Christ is doing everything just to get you to love him. It's like, they compared it to like a child, like your child.
Yeah.
And like, you would do anything for your child to love you, but you can't force your child to love you. But like, you'll do anything and you'll protect them and do all this stuff.
No matter how many times they throw poop on the wall.
Yes.
Or
he still
smear it.
loves us.
Yeah.
And like, that's exactly what they describe Christ, even himself, Christ describes in scripture of like, I just want you to love me. Just accept me and love me. And like, that's all I want.
Yeah. But people try to make sense of that. But why? Like, why would you love that? Why would you die? Why would you go?
created you!
It's just like, he created
your
you.
child!
It's just like, it's literally
You're his
just
child.
Yeah, you're his child.
But that's the cool thing about God, is that he didn't have to. He could be this tyrannical, crazy overlord, but instead he loves us.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Super cool. You know what's not cool though?
What?
Have you seen all this stuff with fruit turning into plastic?
Dude, oh
Turning
my gosh.
into?
I could rant about this all day. This is insane, man.
Okay, let me send you one video real quick.
I have like multiple of them. This is crazy.
There's multiple
There
of
are
them.
people that are going to grocery stores, coming back and looking and like going through and eating their veggies and their fruits and stuff like that, and they're having rubber/plastic food in there. Like they're peeling bananas,
Yes, that's the one I saw.
and there's a banana. They bend it, and it's a rubber banana.
Completely bend the banana. And there's
Blueberries.
Blueberries, yeah. It was the mom.
You're mad. You're seething.
Dude, it's weird though. Hold on, there's
it's crazy.
This mom, she gave her child blueberries, and they're just like kind of complaining about them, and so she dumped it down the garbage disposal, turned it on, and then it was like it was like caught. Turned it off, pulled it out, and the blueberry was still whole. And she took a knife, and it was like rubber.
What?
I thought.
And then look at the video I just sent. This is
I thought it was
thing
made
of
up.
watermelon.
I thought it was made up. Yeah, watermelon's nuts, dude.
All right, you guys have it? I'm going to play it.
So I cut watermelon for my kids, and they're all bringing it right back, saying they don't like the texture. I've seen enough videos of people posting rubbery watermelon. I can't believe I got one. I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta...
That is insane.
So far before it will break.
Dude, they're messing with our food. Things are getting way too expensive. There's no way they're not cutting corners.
Oh, yeah.
They are doing whatever they can to make artificial stuff.
What
and, like,
am I
and just slowly make them drop. Like, dude, that I can't believe it, man. It's crazy. It's insane because it's like there's so many videos of it. I thought it was just like a one time a prank or something. There's a video of a dude holding a banana.
Yeah,
and from the top,
right?
It was unopened. Literally peels it, looks normal. Then he bends it, doesn't break.
It's that coating that guy was talking about.
Yeah,
what
Probably
coating?
the insides. It's proven they're coating our fruits and vegetables in this kind of like plasticky thing, but it's a carcinogen. And
keeps it.
It preserves it.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking to Abby, Josh's friend Abby, and she's a hippie chick that does her own gardening and stuff like that. And I was like, but here's the thing about shopping at the farmer's market is the fruit goes bad so fast. And she's like, that's because your fruit at Publix is not real. That's what she was saying. It's like garbage.
It's plastic.
Did you see Burger King's new ad?
Oh yeah, with it molding and stuff.
Yeah, they had a picture of it sitting out for a week, and it was all covered in mold and stuff. And it's like I don't know what the slogan was, but it was basically showing like, hey, this is a burger 1 week after it's been sitting out. Can't do that to a McDonald's burger because it looks a year later. They did that on Super Size Me, and a year later the burger looked exactly the same. Same with the fries.
They experienced like a 16% jump in profit post that ad.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I don't like Burger King. I like McDonald's. But I dig that though. That's pretty cool.
We're all entitled to wrong opinions.
You see Morgan's. yeah. You're the only person I know that eats Burger King.
Josh likes it too.
I love Burger King.
It's kind of
You buy it all the time though. It's like a once a week
right
or one.
there.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know where it's at because I don't even go to it.
It was closed for like 3 years.
Yeah.
They're renovating it.
You hear Morgan Spurlock, the guy that supersized me? He died.
Yeah.
Yep.
Apparently, he was a huge alcoholic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huge.
So
you talked about that with the documentary,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Had nothing to do
That's
with the
probably what
burgers.
he was throwing up. Had nothing to do with
I have one last thing.
Hit
Ready
me.
for this?
longest podcast to date.
No. This is a doctor that was eating ice cream
Oh no.
and found a human finger in it.
What?
Whoa.
No
I just sent it.
way.
Am I going to see the finger? I feel like this
Yeah,
is illegal.
you will. Are you ready?
Oh no.
3, 2, 1.
This is the stomach-turning moment a traumatized doctor claims he found a human finger inside his ice cream. Orlam Brandon Serrao tucked into the frozen treat to cool off, but was horrified when he felt a solid piece of something in his mouth, thinking it was a nut, but spat out what appeared to be a severed human thumb. After posting the video online, Serrao hit back at the doubters.
I am a doctor, so I know how body parts look.
He sealed the finger in an ice pack and submitted it to police while filing a complaint.
Bro.
Was that Baskin Robbins? What was that?
It kind of looked like it, yeah.
Ugh.
That
you
is
imagine?
terrible.
I'd
be freaking
I would
out.
never recover from that.
You never eat ice cream again. Every time you hear an ice cream truck, you're just gonna like doomsday flashbacks.
But yeah, that's
Barf.
it. I have more to talk about, but we can talk about it on Patreon.
That's so
Cool.
scary.
cool.
Patreon, guys. Ninjas are butterflies. Check them out.
Yeah, patreon.com/ninjas are butterflies. Go get some swag, ninja swag, SundayCoolSwag.com.
Absolutely. We should have some new merch up soon, hopefully.
And if you guys want some custom merch, you go to SundayCool.com.
Bada boom, bada bing. For your company, for your organization, for your church, whatever you want.
For your hobby.
Also, subscribe to our YouTube, our Patreon, like this video, comment on it, review us on Apple, on Spotify, 5 stars, helps us a lot.
Helps the algorithm. We really appreciate
I
it.
did good that time, right?
That was perfect.
That was glorious.
Thanks. Wow. All right, guys. We'll see you on Patreon.
Hey, bye, guys. Thank
Love
you so much for
Bye-bye,
watching.
bye-bye.
Did I say ninja? I meant butterfly. The butterfly is no doubt one of God's most beautiful creations.
Does it empty your mind?
You learn martial arts! Ninjas attack!
Basis. What?
Okay, Patreon.